Konti. Ja. Ja, Konti. Yeah. Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bryndís and today I'm not doing my reading update as normal, but I'm gonna do a pile of possibilities for March because I have a lot of books that I want to be reading in March and I just needed to kind of get a little bit of a focus for my plans or my possibilities really. So I thought I would kind of just have a video, combine all my thoughts and my kind of things that I'm considering reading. There are 3 events in March that I want to take part in. I'm also reading or doing a few year-long events, and then also just my own little project. So I might be a little bit naughty here, so sorry. Hi. And yeah. Okay, let's just talk about them. So the 3 events. Well, I don't know if I'm actually going to talk about them in order, but the first event in March that I want to take part in is March of the Mammoths, and it is basically where you read a large book, 800 pages or more, in the month of March, and I love that event. I think it's really fun. But I'm gonna take you with me to the top of my bookshelves up there that you never see, where my unread books are, and show you all of them, my mammoths. I have a few, and choose a couple that might be interesting to read this time around. Welcome to the top of my bookshelves. So the top 2 shelves are my unread books, and because I'm participating in the Read What You Own challenge, I'm obviously want to try to obviously read what I own and select the books for March of the Mammoths from here. And I do have a few. I mean, I do also have a few that are really big, like over 500 pages, but don't quite make it to the 800 pages, which is for the March of the Mammoths. But I do have a few that are over 800. So I have here, I don't know if I want to take them all out. Yeah, I think maybe I will do that. I have here Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark. You can't see anything. I will show you the books when I go down, which is like, just over 800 pages. Okay, that's one possibility. All of these are like The Nightingale, The Light We Cannot See, Demon Copperhead. I have all of these books here, but they are not 800 pages. They are just under. I have done Quixote, which is like over 1,000 pages. Okay, it's a possibility, like I said. Let me see. Armadale by Wilkie Collins. Just over 800, okay. Charles Dickens, I'm reading Martin Chuzzlewit, which is actually also under 800 pages, so we have that. David Copperfield is obviously also really big, but I don't want to read that. I'm reading Charles Dickens in publication order, and I'm not there yet. The Brother Karamazov by Dostoevsky. Well, I don't want to read anymore. I'm reading Crime and Punishment, so that's gonna be it. Like with Dostoevsky, I don't wanna read more of him. One book by him at a time is fine. It's enough. And then I have, I think, Ulysses, but I'm not gonna read Ulysses, so. And then I have Stephen King. I do have a Stephen King project. And obviously looking at this, I don't know if you can see it properly, but here we have It, which is obviously one of his biggest books. But I'm reading Stephen King in kind of decade order, so not strictly publication, but I'm reading his first decade, basically. And I have a lot of books still in the first decade to read, but I do have The Stand. And I've been wanting to read this for a long time. And oh, yeah, it's over 1,000 pages, so let me take that down. So I have 4 books now on for the possibilities, and I think I'm gonna come down and talk to you in a little bit of a better setup where we don't have this insane light here annoying us. I think those are all of the mammoths that I can see that are a possibility. Let's yeah. So the 4 books that I chose are these, like I showed you. So I think actually, when I'm thinking about it, that these 2, Don Quixote and Armadale by Wilkie Collins, are books I really want to read. I've heard so many good things, especially about Don Quixote, that it's hilarious and just really good. But I have several, or I have a couple of classics going already. So to be honest with you, I think that these are gonna have to wait. I think I have enough classics going on at the moment. So the choice is gonna be between Stephen King and Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. Obviously, Susanna Clarke is one, like I read Piranesi a couple of years ago, and it's, oh my God, it was phenomenal. So this is definitely a book I want to read. And I heard really good things about it. But I also really, really want to read The Stand by Stephen King, which is, so Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, I think is kind of like a fantasy / magical realism, something like that, in that it takes place in London, in England. But there are like magic and stuff like that going on. So it's, I think, which sounds so interesting to me, like very interesting. The Stand is a dystopian novel in that there was a virus that killed most people, and then there are like people, I think 2 different parties of people trying to like fight for control or something like that. Someone evil. Yeah. Randall Flagg, I heard that name, the Dark Man. This is very interesting to me. I just watched The Last of Us on HBO, and I had watched the first season when that originally came out, but I had never watched the second season. So in the last few days, I rewatched season 1 and then watched season 2. So I'm very much in the mood for dystopian, post-apocalypse type of a book. And this would fit well with my Stephen King project. So, like I said, I'm kind of drawn more to it, to be honest, but I can't decide. So I'm gonna put both of these books on my pile, and then I will get to one of them, or start. I don't see myself finishing either one of them in March, but I'm gonna start them. I do have a couple of more books that I'm reading physically. So I generally only have one physical book going at a time. So I'm definitely going to finish that one. I will show you in a minute before I start either one of these. But I'm going to keep both of them on my pile so that when it's time to start to read my Mammoth, I can let my mood kind of dictate which one I choose. So putting that one here. Yeah, well, Emma, and then put it there. Yeah, so then I think that's gonna be the best thing, just to choose when the time is right to start to read one of them. Then I will choose and see what my mood says. I think that's a good. Yeah, you like that, Emma? So these two are just gonna go back on my shelves. And the good thing about both of these books is that they are, like as you saw, were on my shelf. So they will tick in my Read What You Own challenge. Okay, let me see. I have here my notes because I have no memory. Yes, so another event that I'm really excited about taking part in is called AudioMiles. And I think AudioMiles, yeah. I think that's fantastic idea. So basically the premise, with all these events, I will link all the creators in my description. The way the event is that, which is brilliant, you listen to this particular book as you go for a walk. And then you log how many miles, in my case kilometers, I'm gonna walk for the length of the book. And the book that they chose is called The Glass Hotel by Hilary St. John Mandel. And I have that as an audiobook, so I'm just gonna read that book. I have no idea, I've never read anything by that author, but I think she's pretty good. I'm thinking this is a thriller. So yeah, I look forward to that, and then I will just go for walks, listen to that book, and then log how many kilometers I walked each time, and then we'll see how many miles or kilometers. I think it's about 10-hour audiobook is gonna give me. And it's perfect for me because I'm starting to not starting, but I'm determined to starting back with some more exercise. And now that it's starting to get a little bit nicer here, although we are still very much in winter in March here in Iceland, I think it's going to be a good kind of motivator for me to get out and log the miles, log the kilometers, and listen to that book. Because I'm only allowed to listen to that book when I'm walking, because otherwise the mileage calculator thing is gonna get all out of whack. So very excited about that. And the third kind of month event for March is March Mystery Madness. And I love that event as well because I do love mysteries. And this year they're doing it really, I have a really fun kind of setup in that it's called Reading Around the World, or Mysteries Around the World, or something like that. And what it means is you should read, or they're like encouraging you to read mysteries that are not necessarily within your comfort zone or within you like what you would normally read. For mysteries, to be honest with you, I would normally just read like Agatha Christie or like Sherlock Holmes, obviously, but also like the Marlowe Murder Club, the Thursday Murder Club, and I haven't gotten really into cozy mysteries. I do sometimes find them cringy. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm sure I just haven't found the right book. But this time around, there are 3 prompts. Read the book by an author that is not born in your country. Read a book that takes place in a different continent from where you live, and read the translated book. And although the funny thing is that, I live in Iceland, so I could actually read only Agatha Christie for these prompts. She was not born in Iceland, right? So she was born in a different country than I. She has books that take place in different continents, like Death on the Nile, Murder on the Orient Express, Caribbean Mystery. I think is it The Man in the Brown Suit. I mean, there are a few that take place in North Africa or in the Caribbean or some place like that. And I could read a translated book by Agatha Christie because she has been translated into Icelandic. And I have these black books here underneath the red one are my 5 Agatha Christies that have been translated into Icelandic. So I could fit all the prompts with Agatha Christie, but that would be very kind of almost cheating, wouldn't it? So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna actually try to combine this event with my year-long event of the Diversity Book Challenge, or Diversity Book Bingo by Ellen at Ellen Made Book Club. So I have a book in that challenge that I haven't started, and this is Enter Ghost by Isabella Hamad. And when I finish Conversation with Friends that I'm still reading, I'm gonna read this because I only have it as a physical book. And then when I'm done with that book, I have room to read more, unless I find it as an audiobook. Possibly I can find something for the Mystery Challenge / Diversity Bingo Challenge as an audiobook, which would be fantastic. But if it's gonna be a physical book, I don't know exactly when I'm gonna get to it, because I have to finish this one and then, one of the Mammoths. But it's a problem for another day, for sure. But I'm gonna read Enter Ghost. This is a book that takes place in Palestine. I think it's in the West Bank rather than Gaza. Yeah, but I'm very excited to read that. I haven't read anything from Palestine, so that will be hugely interesting. But that's going to be there. And like I said, I want to try to find a mystery that has obviously at least cultural diversity. It would be fantastic if it had some other representation regarding abilities or gender or sexual orientation or whatever. But at least cultural, I will be very happy, and that will fit with the March Mystery Madness and my diversity. I think it's a good thing to combine the two. I'm also combining my March of the Mammoths possibly with my Stephen King project. So I'm doing that as well. Okay, the next year-long event that I'm also participating in is Historathon. And for the first quarter of Historathon, you are reading books from ancient, or that are about, obviously not from, but that are about the ancient times up to the year 500 CE. The book that I chose for that is actually this book, and it's by Barry Conliffe, Ancient Celts. And it is, interestingly, I read The Druids, a very short introduction in January by this author. And he is an archaeologist, a renowned archaeologist according to Google. So I did enjoy The Druids. It didn't tick all the boxes for me, but it was informative. So I'm thinking that the Celts, this book is going to be the same, or hopefully the same. I'm sticking to my kind of British Isles, French, part of French type of history for this quarter. And I'm very curious to learn more about the ancient Celts. Okay. Let me just continue here. So I've talked about March of the Mammoths, March Mystery Madness, the Diversity Book Bingo, AudioMiles, Stephen King, and Historathon. So the last thing that I want to talk about is my Charles Dickens project. And next on the list is The Adventures of Martin Chuzzlewit, which is actually also a mammoth. And I don't really know a lot about this book. What I see here is that Martin Chuzzlewit was suspicious and misanthropic, greedy, and so it's about his grandson, who is his namesake, who has to make his own way in the world. I don't like to read to know a lot, so it would be interesting. Seems to be kind of a what's his name? The character from Christmas Carol type of character. But I think it's going to be, I think that's a theme in some of his books for sure. He has very rich people who are super greedy and like the word, they don't want to spend money. But I'm very excited about this one, and I have this as an audiobook with, I think, Simon Vance, I think. So I'm excited about that. Very excited about that. Actually, I'm really looking forward to getting back into Charles Dickens. But I also am currently reading Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. I also as an audiobook. So I'm going to try to finish this one before I start on Charles Dickens. We'll see. I am also very keen on reading book number 4 in the Barchester series by Anthony Trollope. And I just have some fun books on my audiobook app that I'm keen to read. I decided not to read Wuthering Heights. I just didn't feel the interest in doing that. So I was considering reading that for February, but because of the new movie, but I don't want to do that. Maybe at some point I will. And yes, so I think that's that. I am also participating in the Read What You Own challenge, and I have currently 9 books read, and I'm currently reading 2. So when they are done, I will have read 11 books. My goal is to get to 50, so I need to speed things up. I do have a few short books, so maybe in the summer or whatever, I will kind of do a challenge of reading. I mean, obviously they're short in September, but I don't think they are that short. But I do have books that I could probably read in 2 days, and maybe I should, maybe that I will create a challenge for myself in one of those months when I have lots of time to read and just kind of get through as many as possible. Because if I continue on with this pace, I don't think I will reach 50 read books, which was my goal. But even if I don't, any books read off my shelves is a good thing. But all these 3 are definitely from that challenge, and Martin Chuzzlewit as well. So, if I am able to read at least 3 of them, Charles Dickens, Isabella Hamad, and Stephen King, I will be up to 13. But yeah, like I said, I'm worried that I will not reach my goal. But okay, I think that's enough. I think I've been talking way too long. Thankfully March is a long month. For me, March always feels like the longest month in the world, because at least this year, March in Iceland is horrific. The weather, you have been going through winter, you are so fed up with winter, you so much want spring, and March is spring in many other countries in the Northern Hemisphere. It is not spring in Iceland. it's very much winter. It's very much darkness and horribleness and disgustingness in the weather department. And I try to be positive and embrace the loveliness of winter. But in March, it's difficult because I'm just sick of it. And this year, we don't even have Easter in March, at the end of March. So there are no holidays in Iceland. No holidays. So it's just work and gloominess. So it's going to be very nice to have lovely books to escape into. Yes. Are you participating in any of these events, or are you just sticking with mood reading? What are you going to be reading in March? Let me know in the comments. Bye bye.